This is my presentation of my mindmeister that goes over 5 different lessons or projects that I can use in the classroom that revolve around my central theme of A World According to Humphrey. So this is the first section that we're going to do. It's an emotional lesson, and it's going to go over 4 main emotions that I've listed here, and I have little smiley faces or icons that go with the different emotions that are on there. Second lesson we're going to do is a science lesson, and I've incorporated a video on here that talks about abiotic and biotic factors, which is the first lesson that I would go over.
Abiotic and biotic factors. An ecosystem contains living and non-living things. The ecosystem has many examples of the interaction between the living and the non-living.
It's exciting stuff, I know. The second, hold on a second. The second portion of the science lesson that we would go over is what's necessary for living things and how to keep a class pet happy. So this revolves around the theme in the sense that we're talking about Humphrey, who was a class pet, he was a hamster, and what different abiotic and biotic factors would be necessary to keep Humphrey alive and happy. So the next lesson we would do is a reading lesson, of course, because it's a book, so it goes with the theme. We would work to meet certain reading goals, so we're going to read like a chapter or a page or something. You could find main ideas in the book, and I've attached a link here that goes to a website that tells you how to find the main idea of any text. So we can go back to the presentation, and basically that's a resource that I can use if I'm unsure of how to go about teaching students how to find the main idea of a lesson. So then the last thing would be look into specific details in the book, and I made an arrow that attaches the emotion section of the presentation to looking into specific details, because to find the different emotions in the book A World According to Humphrey, you're going to have to look at specific details. The fourth lesson that I would plan to do around my theme would be a math-related lesson. And with this, I can talk about the cost of keeping a class pet, or the story problems revolving around Humphrey and that sort of topic. And I've added a note here that tells me that I need to make up the worksheet with the central theme of Humphrey that includes different math skills that we'd be working on. And then the last thing I'm going to do is an art/class project. And this incorporates art into it. That I added the task that its #1 priority has to be 100% done by December 10th, and it's assigned to all of the students, so they know that they have to complete that. And they would be a reading book-based project, so they would read read a book and then do an art project about it. And you could also take a spin off of reading A World According to Humphrey and then doing an art project based off of that. So that primarily is the 5 different lessons that I have.